Good evening to you all in Europe. Good morning, good afternoon for those of you who are tuning in from further afield. We'd love to see where you're watching from, so wave your flags, give your country a shout out in the comments below. I'm Andy, I've worked at Heritage Park Centre for 12 years. I spend a lot of my time meeting people and creating stories about them and their vehicles. I've had a few weeks off from this, but it's great to be back. My colleague Steph spoke with our boss Barney a few weeks ago, so if you haven't seen that video, which talks about the history of Heritage Park Centre, amongst other things, then go and check that out over on IGTV. You'll also find a load of other videos that we've done with friends of ours from the car community there, so I think you'll enjoy those ones as well. Let me just add things. Guest joining us this evening is Ned from Hayburner magazine. So, having created a hugely popular 100% free VW magazine and also an internationally recognised brand along with it, this should be a great discussion which will inspire and hopefully entertain as well. So, hi Ned, welcome along.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining me. I guess a good place to start really is what makes a car or story suitable for Hayburner? What's kind of your...
Well, we don't. That's quite a difficult question because well they're all suitable really. I mean, we try and keep with something that's current, something that's often different, maybe interesting, but we only have sort of 6 or 7 vehicles for each issue, so it's only 4 times a year, which makes it quite difficult making choices. We get sent stuff and we hunt stuff down, and we put it to a sort of team of people, some of the freelancers and stuff that work here, and we kind of try and decide on a good variety to go into each issue. So, I mean, quite often we get bombarded with sort of 10 Beetles for one issue. You can only choose one of them, and you have to go through it all. And but it's in general, anything people keep sending them in because we love to see them, even if we don't end up putting them in the mag. It's still great to see what everyone's got.
Awesome. Can we go just back to the beginning really? Can you tell us about how Hayburner came about?
Well, it was that's probably about 10 years ago now. It was we worked, me and Vic we both had full-time jobs at the time. So she was at university and working at Pizza Hut, and I was on a building site, and we both used to work at shows as well at the weekend, sort of doing Vic did she ran a bouncy castle back then, and I did auto jumble. I did that for I don't know, a couple of years, like all the time, and then recession hit and building work got quiet, so I ended up trying to do auto jumble full time. So spending all this time at the shows, that's hard. I don't know if you ever tried selling second-hand parts full time. It's not easy. So then it was actually Hayburner was an idea that came around. We were sitting around a campfire one night, and it was supposed to be at the time a bit like a sort of punk fanzine. Did you ever? I don't know if everyone said, like, in the late 90s and mid 90s, we used to go to punk gigs, like shows, and they'd have sort of A4 sheets of paper stapled together, which they call them zines, or zines, which is amateur magazine.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be one of those, but then the more I sort of went into it and had to get professional advertising on board and whatnot, it became a real publication and just kind of steamrolled into what it is now, which is insane, really. But yeah, it was just an idea around the campfire, and the more people I told about it, the more I had to do it.
Yeah. And so you've not got a background in journalism at all. Is that right?
No, I don't even have a GCSE. I didn't say. No, I was a builder, just a builder. I sort of I decided I really wanted to do it, and Vic was my wife was really, really supportive of me because I'd sort of helped her through university, and so I just sat and did endless Photoshop tutorials, and just learned the business, and that's how it happened. I had to make it work. I had a sort of young son at the time, and rent to pay. It just had to work, But
So you were talking about kind of leaving school with no GCSEs. What did you want to be when you kind of grew up as a kid?
Oh, I was really cocky. I was I remember going to my careers interview and they said them saying, "Oh, you know, what do you want to do?" And I said, "You don't know who I am. You know, I'm going to be a pro skateboarder. Yeah, I don't need this. You know." And yeah, that didn't quite work out, but that's what I was going to be. Yeah, that's what I wanted to be. Yeah.
And I'm guessing you have got some skateboarding kind of some skill. You sort of knew what you were doing. It wasn't a complete
Oh
pipe
yeah,
dream.
definitely. Yeah, I skated for years and years and years. It was yeah, it's what I did until I stopped skateboarding at 26, I think, because like I said, I had a young kid, had to earn money. I was on site. If I broke my wrist again, I didn't have any work, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just the way it was. So yeah, I stopped when I was quite old, but yeah, it's a shame, but it never worked out. I was never a pro skateboarder.
Have you had any kind of watch this moments with your son where you kind of gone back to the skateboarding? And
I all the time. He still skates. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always grabbing the board, but not to the extent I used to. Definitely. Mm.
And I'm guessing, were you driving an old VW back then as well?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Then I've always had classic cars, even ever since I was a teenager. Always had classics of different kinds.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah. Well, was there? What you say back then? What, from when I started the mag, or when?
Well, just in what was your first car?
First car was a Jeans Beetle.
Okay.
So which never actually hit the road. It was me and my friend bought it from a guy who was struggling to pay. I think he had debts for with a drug dealer or something. And we bought this car off him, which was in his mum's back garden, and then had to take a fence down to drag it out. Managed to get it started that afternoon, and then drove it around the local playing field. I would have been 16 at the time, I think. And the police came, they got involved, and then I can remember about to flee, and my friend sat next to me, and he said, "If you run, this car's mine," because we'd both chipped in sort of 25 quid each for it. And yeah, I was a pussy, I ran. So I lost the car to my mate, who ended up getting it on the road when he was 17. And yeah, he always used to rub it in my face, saying, yeah, this could have been yours, you know, or ours. But no, my first car was I think it was an AX GT. Well, it was, yeah. Look, I've actually got a photo of it on the wall here to remind me of. Is that working? Hold on. How do I flip the screen? There you go. It is there. That was my first car. It was a bit of a wreck. Sort of yeah, that was through a brick wall rolled into someone's garden and in front of that house.
Whoops.
Yeah, but no, and since then I've always had classic cars of all different kinds. You know, when yeah, everything, but mainly Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll get back onto kind of Hayburner really. I spoke with Niels from MIT a few weeks back and asked him this question as well. When you were coming up with a short list of names, what were the names which didn't make it? What was your kind of runner-up instead of Hayburner?
Oh, right, we had well, do you know what? I don't really think we did have a lot of runners-up. At the time, we just wanted to call it something that didn't have Volks or air-cooled or just to really try and be as different as possible. Like the whole idea of the mag was to sort of try and shake things up and feature different cars and just try and do something different. And yeah, so as for the name, we just wanted it to be something totally, you know, there could be anything. Yeah, so there wasn't actually any other sort of choices, I don't think. I'm sure there must have been back when we were thinking, but no, not that springs to mind.
Okay, well, fair enough. So yeah, you occasionally slip a non-VW vehicle into the magazine. And for those of you who follow you on social media, they'll know you've kind of dabbled with a few other marques as well. What other stuff kind of rocks your boat? Is there particular stuff?
Mainly European cars. Like I've dabbled a little bit of an American stuff, but it's always a short-lived romance. You know, they're so big and cumbersome and hard to work on. So yeah, yeah, I like classic Mercedes very much. Um, yeah, yeah, just sort of European sports cars, and I bought a Citroen SM at
Yeah,
one
yeah,
point,
yeah.
which was like a mental V6. Yeah, insane car to work on. I unfortunately had to buy my house, so I had to sell it prematurely. I've actually got it on the road, but that'll be something I'll relive again if I can ever afford it. I'd like to do that again.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, at the moment I've only got VWs and Porsches. Yeah, but yeah, never say never. I'd like another Merc, I think, and yeah, bits and bobs. But putting other stuff in the magazine is just to try and. I find that most people who are into VWs aren't just into VWs. You know, they started with Minis, or they're into other cars as well. They like, you know, they're not just VW people; they're car people. So the idea of doing a something else article in each magazine was just to, you know, keep it interesting and yeah, make it obviously that we were car people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it.
So what have you got currently in your collection?
The collection's the smallest it's been in maybe 10 years. I've got, I think it's 3. Yeah, I have Shavada, the 56 Combi, which I've just finished building and is ready to go now.
Okay.
I'll show you that in a bit. It's downstairs.
Yeah, cool.
I've got a 911 84 Targa, which is kind of a dream car of mine. I know it's a bit of a unwanted Porsche, really, but it's the one that I wanted as a kid. I'm a child of the 80s, you know. And it's very much the sort of tacky, well-tailed, vulgar, yeah, car. But so that was, I bought it as a burnout. Well, I actually swapped it for another car, and it had burnout. But I spent all last year putting it back together, and it's been at my friend's getting the engine put in for quite a while now. But it's a sort of hospital job for him because the work on the engine I swapped for a Type 3. So okay. So he's got the car, but he's sort of doing it as and when he can. So I couldn't afford to do it properly. And then I've got Vic's got this City Golf, which is a little water-cooled South African, sort of Mark II, Mark 1 Golf hybrid thing. And we've got a Beetle come in that we bought on a whim just before the lockdown. Okay. In the States. We're not sure whether we're going to keep it or sell it, because I sold my Carmen Gear again to buy another house, which fell through. So I've got I've got that coming, which I don't even know what to do with.
Can you tell us much about it, or is it a bit of a secret at the moment?
No, it's no secret. It's a 62 Beryl Green, cool. Lovely little car, real survivor car. You know, like I've started trying to buy the best car. You start with the best car you can. Like, I always used to weld up the biggest piece of shit I could find, and I've done so many now that I started sort of hunt out the better cars if I possibly can. You know, sort of. So Vic just gave me a dirty look from the other room for swearing. I've got a dirty mouth, and so So trying to start with the best car I can, and that really is a nice survivor car. So I'm looking forward to getting that back and having a go at it. But I think at the moment that's about it. I've got like a belly tank project in America that I still need to drag back as well. That I never got started on, but I haven't got around to. We've been so busy and stuff and and whatnot. But yeah, I think we're down to sort of 4 cars, which is kind of mad considering at one point we had knocking on 30, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, a few years back, but yeah, I'm just trying to streamline everything, you know, work and projects, and get a project finished and get it out rather than getting it to a show half done and never doing anything with it. You know, it's been, in fact, lockdown's been kind of good for me to actually just refine Shavada and do all those little bits that I wasn't going to, you know, I would have never bothered doing. I would have got it there and just never done it. So I'm glad that I had the extra time on it. I'm looking forward to getting it out and about.
Yeah. I think for some people it's brought some positives, and yeah, if you're able to kind of take an opportunity out of a negative situation, then
Yeah, it's been a weird time for everyone, I think, definitely. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see Shabbat?
yeah, let's go have a look.
Here you go. I'll flip you around. So we're walking through. This is the office, by the way. We're still here.
Okay, cool.
Work till late. There's Vic.
Hi.
Evening.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the dogs. Got a bit of a messy old stockroom going on at the moment, but it's just two of us at the moment here. We've got everyone else spare load, so it's super.
Okay.
There's Han Solo. So yeah, it's quite hard to zoom out on this, but been
So for those people who aren't aware, what's the background on this bus?
so this was my favourite bus in the world. It's owned by an old man, Clive, in the UK, and it was owned by a magician who ended up doing sort of 20 years in prison for dealing heroin. So it was a smuggler's bus, and it ended up finding its way to England. And
where was it from originally?
It's Australian, so it's a
Okay.
right-hand drive bus. But I've done sort of, oh man, there's not a nut and bolt on the van. It's not been undone. So yeah, right-hand drive. It's I want it to be like a go anywhere bus. So
Yeah.
massive tires and being well modified. But the interior, my friend Joe Malone, Jojo Interiors did it.
Yeah.
He's actually done a fantastic job of it. I'm so happy with it. It was all paused.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Vic designed the interior, but I'm actually made up with it. It's going to be a real sort of good camping vehicle. Yeah. But it's like I said, done everything, headline and the lot. But it's I'm quite looking forward to getting it on the road properly, and using it. It passed its MOT.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about that. That's my son's little first car, which I've got to deal with. We've got an old bike, which my mate Gary needs to pick up because he bought it about a year ago. And then we'll just go back upstairs.
So with Shavada, we sent you over some STP sound deadening which you installed, which seems to have
That's right. Well,
revolutionised
actually,
things.
we're here, let's bang on the side of it. It's You hear that?
Sounds just like a Golf.
It sounds just like a Golf. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, that banging on the door woke the dogs up.
What was Shavada? Was that the guy's name? The magician's name?
That's right. That was the magician's name.
Okay.
So he was the Great Shavada. That was his that was his thing. But he was I believe that the bus was bought from the police auctions in Brisbane.
Okay.
After 20 years, I think they're quite strict with that sort of thing in Australia. But
crazy.
No, so I mean, Clive owned it for about 10 years. And it's he phoned me when it's ready to sell. I always said to him that I'd definitely take it. So I sold my old double door combi, Canada Dry. To fund it, which was quite hard to let go of because me and Vic have done some serious miles in that van. Like we had a honeymoon in it. We've done sort of all over the world. Well, not the world, Europe.
Yeah.
But it was sort of it was a shame to let it go. But I'm slowly sort of glad that I got it done and sort of swapped it for the bus I really wanted. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's a keeper.
Do you know what? I think it's actually might be the last split bus I build. Believe it or not, I said to Vic, I don't want to do another one after this. I'm going to concentrate on other stuff. I think that's just going to be my bus that I use all the time. That's why I built it stock height and just so I can just get in it, turn the key, get to where I'm going. Yeah, and just enjoy it. Like never say never. I guess if something comes along, I might, but. I think that's my last split bus project. Hopefully,
Is it still on reduction boxes?
It is. Yeah. but it's not, it's never going to be finished. I was actually talking to a friend of mine today about building a big engine for it and doing all that sort of stuff. So it's that's in the pipeline. So there'll always be it'll always be an ongoing thing. But they always all of them are. If you especially VWs, if you own one, they're never really finished, are they? And it's a great thing about them. And in a few years' time, you can give them a new look and a new lease of life, and that thing might be slammed one day and on different wheels, and you never know, do you? But right now, I think it's fitting to exactly what I want. So I'm really
awesome.
Really happy with it. It's been a long time coming.
So morality aside, if you found a suitcase full of cash tomorrow, what would you go out and buy? What's missing?
What, VW wise,
or anything really?
I think that I've always wanted. I've never owned a split Beetle, and I'd like to. I'd like a standard 49 or something like that, like a really early, grey standard, preferably
cable brakes
cable brakes and something really, really vintage. I think would be a thing to own. But I don't know. It's difficult because you own a car like that, you can't really modify it and do anything with it because there's such a piece of history. Well, you can, but I think that's what I'd like. I'd like a really, really old Beetle, like something sort of as old as it gets. A bit of I think that's it. So 49 standard in grey with a rag top. So it's a real rare model. But don't want much.
What wheels did you want to put on it? Each issue of Hayburner has a page dedicated to thanking the people who made it possible. Do you feel a level of responsibility when it comes to putting the magazine together?
What, to thank people? Absolutely. In fact, they deserve all the thanks. The people who work for Hayburner or support it and advertise in it, and I mean, they are the backbone of the magazine. Without it, we've got nothing. So they deserve all the thanks, really. People like yourself, Heritage and these, I mean, without the advertising revenue, we can't print. It doesn't. The actual mag itself generates so little profits. We're totally reliant on the people who do back it and support it, and keep it going. So the thank you page to me is really, really important. And a nightmare to keep up with. Vic does it actually. because she deals with advertising and stuff. She sort of she always does the design for the thank you page. But
hopefully it only gets bigger. You don't cross people off every month.
Oh yeah, we kick out the old people and put new ones. No, it does get bigger. Yeah, it always gets bigger. I mean, it's there's a lot of thanks to be given about Hayburner. Without the support from the VW community, it just wouldn't happen. It doesn't, it really doesn't run itself. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people's dedication to keep it going and to keep it free. And that's the hardest thing, is to the cost of print every single issue goes up. As you must know, being in the businesses, but it gets more expensive to print every time, and we're determined to keep the advertising the same. We've capped it since we've never raised our prices. But we want to keep Hayburner to what we wanted it to be in the beginning. We came up with a concept where everyone benefits. The people, the VW community, get a free magazine to read. The companies get a cheap place to advertise, hitting people directly, and I don't have to get a job. And that's it. That was actually sort of what we set out to do, and we've achieved it. And it's just keeping it that way and trying to keep everyone happy, and trying to keep current. And it's it's very, very hard work, but it's also very rewarding. Yeah.
How many issues do you print? Like, how many copies do you get printed per kind of issue?
Per issue, we are on. What are we on at the moment? 11,000. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
And they're going
11,000
globally as well, isn't it?
Yeah, globally. We've actually completely run out of this issue already for the first time ever. It's like a record. I think it's something to do with lockdown with people. Subscriptions went wild because I think people couldn't go to get to the shows, you know, because most of them.
Yeah.
Because at the time I said to you, when the issues turn up, it's a big pile of mags. You know, you look at them and think, oh my God, how am I ever going to get through all these? And this time they just flew away. It was really, really cool. But we've hit an issue when we can't really print more because it's so expensive to print the extra. So we'd have to put the advertising rates up, which we don't want to do. And we can't make it thicker because the postage rate would have to go up now. It's as thick as it can be.
Okay.
So, you know, if we added more advertising, we'd have to also make the mag thicker, which would also make it more expensive for people to subscribe. And it's just that the whole thing's a nightmare.
That's 22.
So Hayburner is as thick as it's ever going to be now. And it's, you know, yeah, that's what people are going to get. It's going to stay that thickness, same amount printed, and we're just going to tick along as we are. I think we found our sort of, it's exactly as we wanted it to be in the very beginning. So, yeah, I couldn't be happier with the way it's gone, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of go, obviously, on the same line of thanks, really. Last month, obviously, your dog Tinker unfortunately got attacked.
Oh, yeah,
And kind of amazingly, hundreds of people kind of came out and sort of helped you out with that. Do you want to kind of talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I can do. It was horrific, really. It was it was no one's fault, really. It was a big accident, but he got mauled pretty badly by a bull mastiff. He's only a little dog, and he nearly died. He went to the vets, and they were going to put him down at one point, and then they've managed to get a specialist who could do something with it. And I put a post on Facebook about it, and then someone put some money into our business account for it, which was a bit weird, and we didn't know what to do then. And then someone had set up a Just Giving page. Well, and then in a couple of hours, there's 3 different Just Giving pages for the dog, and
wow,
we sort of conglomerated into one. And then people, the dog ended up with I think it was like $5,500 bill for sewing him up and whatnot. And then we actually got $7,000 donated, which is unbelievable. Wow. The rest of it went to the dog's charity where we got him from, because he's a rescue dog. Yeah. But it was words can't describe, you know, how grateful we are, how kind it was of everyone. And it means the world to us. It was, and he's doing so well, you know. Here you go. He's sitting over there. I can bring him over if I can flip this screen. It doesn't seem to want to. Here you go. He's doing really.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, he's got a big old scar. It looks like he got attacked by a shark, but he's so happy. His it's sort of an anomaly of medical science. The vets can't believe how well he's done. It's he was supposed to have 3 different operations, and now he's only had 1, and he's back on his feet.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're so grateful to everyone. It's sort of made my year a pretty shitty year, 2020, but that's, you know, it's rekindled my faith in humanity. If anything, it's really cool.
It's definitely. I think it's great when people can help each other out.
Yeah. I mean, it made me feel like we put, you know, I dedicated my life to the VW industry. We work on this magazine sort of all year, late nights, every night. We really, really put our all into it, and it really made me feel appreciated for what we've done over the last 10 years. You know, people actually do. Yeah, they care about what we put in, and it was really touching. Yeah, awesome. And it's saved our dog. It's awesome. Yeah, it's the most expensive terrier in the world.
What do you think the best opportunity your career with Hayburner has kind of presented you with? I guess saving your dog, maybe.
Yeah, saving the dog. Well, no, we've had some really really cool opportunities come to us through Hayburner. Um, you know, it was amazing. Within 2 years, when we started, we were in a scummy little bedroom in our house, and there was piles of post in the kitchen, and I used to screen print t-shirts in my bedroom because we couldn't afford to anything else. And within 2 years, we were sort of on the PCH with Ewan McGregor, photographing his cars. That was in 2 years. What an opportunity! What a door opened. And we've been over the world. Indonesia. We went to a show and did that. I think you went to it this year as well.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing place.
I mean, what an experience, yeah, things like that, opportunities to travel and to see cars that you'd never ever get to see, you never thought I'd ever be able to see, stuff like that has really really made it. And also, we get opportunities. People send us cars that are for sale and things like that, and stuff that you wouldn't have known about and you wouldn't have seen. And I mean, I'm going to Belgium in a few weeks to go and excavate a split beetle that someone's found wind of that was buried under the ground in the late '60s. And
wow,
things like that you'd never ever get to do. No. if I didn't do what I was doing. So there's the opportunities just seem to keep coming, and you've just got to sort of keep your energy up and sort of seize them when they come.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's more to come.
Wicked. The last few years, you've branched kind of out a little bit and created Hayburner Print. What's the thought behind that sidestep? And
well, we always printed all our own clothing, and with the magazine as it is, we constantly have to. I mean, the actual mag only pays minimum wage for one person. Well, I don't even think it generates that. So we have to constantly work out ways to get in extra revenue. And so we have, bug tech shifters, and we do various parts and things like, secondhand bits and bobs. And Hayburner Print was just, we thought we're printing for ourselves, we might as well print for other people as well. So we work really closely with a company that's quite local to us who prints, they print everything. And Vic kind of runs Hayburner. We usually have a couple of staff here running Hayburner Print, like Jots. She went on to maternity leave, and then Laura's furloughed, and stuff like that. We just it's down to 2 people at the moment. It's been mayhem in here. but yeah, that's a print business. We print everything, and if anyone needs anything, just knock on the door. We're here to help. But it's gone really well, the print business. I mean, I don't really get that involved with it, apart from the overall sort of looking at it. But that's Vicky's baby. She runs the Instagram and the social media part of it, and dealing with the customers. And she's really got that down. She does a terrific job with it. All on her own at the moment as well, which is just, I don't know how she does it. Well, I do know how she does it. She doesn't sleep. Just carries on doing that. But it's it's hard times at the moment for business. It's there's plenty of work to do, but there's just no one to do it.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's the same at Heritage. It's I know you guys have never been so busy.
It's a tricky time. Like, obviously, with a lot of guys and girls who've kind of been locked away at home, it's an opportunity for them to kind of sort of tinker with their stuff. But then on the flip side, they're not going to work. So that's kind of only they're only able to kind of buy parts for so long until the money dries out. So
it's always a worry, isn't it, that all these people at home on the sort of the furlough stuff. There's this sort of being at home, being paid thing's got to end at some point, hasn't it? So, but it's been good to us through the sort of pandemic. I mean, people have our web shop's been really busy with t-shirts and bits and bobs we sell. So that's sort of really really carried us through. So again, it's the sport of the Volkswagen sort of scene, if you like, that's really seen us through it. And it's we couldn't have asked for more. We really couldn't have. It's been cool.
Awesome. What would you like to see happen in the VW or maybe Porsche scene as well over the next 5 years?
Well, do you know what? It's funny because this question I've actually spoken to with Vicky, sort of thinking that you might ask it. And, it's yeah. Honestly, I think that it's my opinion might not be the most popular, but I'd like to see prices drop. I'd like to see the vehicles become a bit more affordable again. I feel like things have got so expensive and out of control in the classic car market that it's kind of ruining it. Especially people buying and building cars and young blood getting into the scene, if you like.
Yeah.
You know, I'd really like to see things drop a bit. You know, not. I don't want everyone's cars to be worth nothing. I'd just really like to see them a bit more affordable. You know, so a young lad can buy a bay window and go travelling with his girlfriend in it, or a 17-year-old can buy a Bug and, you know, modify it. And also, when cars are a bit cheaper, people are a bit more expressive. I think that you're more likely to sort of, you know, to modify a cheaper car. And I think that, you know, there'll be less social media scrutiny. I always think that's another worry, that I see people put their life and soul into these vehicles, and then something that they're so proud of, you know, they'll put it up on Facebook and then get shut down by people who think that they haven't done the right thing with it, or they haven't done, or you've ruined a classic, or you've done this, you've done that. And I just really like to see it take a step back and things. I mean, I can't really see that it'll ever happen, you know, unfortunately, unless we all start. But you know, markets do fluctuate, and yeah, I think it'd be lovely to see people. I mean, like I said, I've got that Porsche sitting there, and I know Porsche has always been an expensive car, but it's a kind of undesirable 80s shitter, and I can't afford to build it. You know, actually, I really can't. I work unbelievable hours and put all my efforts in, and I can't afford to build an undesirable Porsche. And I don't think that should be.
It's not undesirable.
It should, you know, it shouldn't really be the way. I think it should be, you know, yeah. It's a strange view, and I don't know if it'll be popular with people, because I know a lot of people do make investments in these vehicles, and they have been a good place to put your money for a long time. But if you play golf, at the end of the year, you don't get your money back, and it's supposed to be a hobby, you know. Yeah, and I think people maybe lose sight of that a little bit. So I'd like to see things drop a bit.
Oh, cool.
I'll get shut down for this. I know it, but I don't really care. You know, it's just my view. It's not the view of the magazine. It's just how I feel. You know. Yeah. But
I think it's cool to have a kind of a solid opinion on it, really, rather than I think there's a lot of people who would be like, oh, more shows or whatever, or let's all go back to 1985.
That's what I preach. If you buy a car from me, it'll be cheaper than where you buy it from someone else, because I just sold my gear, and it sold in under 10 minutes publicly, you know, and it's because it was the right price. It was cheap, and that guy, actually, he's got my gear and he's building it, he's enjoying it. He didn't just flip it on like other cars I've sold, you know. There are a lot of stuff that gets £8,000 stuck on the price and it flipped on in a few days. But it's the same with parts, you know. I sell second-hand parts, and if you buy a part from me, it'll be cheaper than the store next door, because, you know, I want these things to remain affordable. I want people to build cars. I want the hobby. I want this to be fun, you know. Spending time in the garage with your mates building cars, and if they're all worth £1 million, people ain't going to do it. So, yeah, well, we'll see, man.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
Is there an aspect of the car scene that excites you the most, whether it's like buying a car or going to the show or road trips or camping or whatever?
Yeah, I like building cars, and road trips. Well, all of that, you know, shows, road trips. Building a car and then taking it out for the first time with your friends is to a show or something like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that. It's super cool. Yeah. So I'd say the build's probably my favourite bit.
Yeah, the first drive, just wondering if it's going to break down or not.
Oh, it always breaks down. It always breaks down. Yeah.
So, last question, kind of just another hypothetical scenario. If you take a phone call tomorrow and you get offered silly money for Hayburner as a brand and as a going concern, what do you do, and what does the future look like for you and Vic if you walked away from it all?
That's a really difficult question.
Just in case anyone with £1 billion is watching.
Yeah, in case. Well, I mean, it'd be.
Or would you just tell them to jump?
I'm 40 this year. I couldn't run Hayburner to the way I'm running it forever, because all these late nights and 20 odd shows a year and all that stuff. It's a young man's game, and I'm sure someday someone will fill my boots. But I don't think I don't think I could sell it. I think I'd always have to keep some sort of hand in it.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a very lavish lifestyle. I don't really spend a lot of money. I don't do it. I've kind of got everything I want. Does that sound weird?
No.
So I'm kind of like, I don't really want anything. So I don't want a load of money, and I love doing Hayburner. So I think, and so does Vic. And I think that with, to sell it and watch someone else do something with it would be bizarre. So I think we'll always have it. I don't think it'll get sold. And I think the future, I think I'll just do it until I don't want to do it anymore. If you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I'm sort of, I'm quite content with my life. We've recently, things have changed anyway. I've recently moved to the countryside, to a little cottage, and it's nice and quiet. And I've been sober for 11 months, and
awesome.
So things have really changed for both of us anyway. For the way that we sort of, it used to be just like party time all the time, and Hayburner it's as we've got older, it's mellowed anyway. And I really like sort of working hard and punching away on the mag. And I actually watched Niels do this interview from He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he said that if he won the lottery, what would he do? And that he'd carry on doing Mighty because he loves it. And I'm exactly the same. I would, if I had all the money, I'd want to carry on doing it anyway. So what would be the point in selling it? If that makes any sense.
You'd have to start again, make another one.
Unless it's a ridiculous amount of money, and then you can have it. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's not really for sale, and I don't know what I'd do without it these days. Our lives are sort of. Yeah, I get up in the morning, and the first thing I do is go and check what's going on with the magazine, and I answer everyone's emails, and I work all day. I don't stop for lunch. And then into the evening, what would I do without it? I'd get a job. Yeah, right. Yeah, work for that. I couldn't really imagine doing anything else. But yeah, but I hope that answers the question.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think it's great that you've got something that you're so into, and you've obviously created from kind of ground up, and you've found a way to kind of support your lifestyle with something you're really, really passionate about. Yeah,
I think so. And I think if you really love what you do, you don't have to work, and also you don't really need money because you're doing what you do anyway, and it all kind of rolls on. It's all I couldn't really ask for more. I'm really, really happy with the way it is. I mean, I've got ambition. I'd like it to carry on growing and doing keep doing what we're doing. But I think if things stayed as they are now forever, I think it'd be cool.
Cool. Let's have a quick look and just see if anyone's Ned for president. There we go.
Oh, that's
thanks to Cactus Pete's VW.
Yeah, we don't want that.
We have a quick look through here and see what's
What are you looking at?
I'll just look all the questions and things. Someone's asked if there's any water cooled vehicles going to feature in Hayburner.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? If it's interesting and different, then send them in. I mean, I don't want to feature the same stuff that all the other magazines are doing. You see, you've got I get asked this a lot, and I generally stick to air-cooled stuff because it's what I know, and you know, I don't want to be writing about or trying to feature stuff from different scenes that I don't know about. But if it's, I mean, we have done a couple of bits. We did a K70 and that insane hybrid thing that Pipey McGraw built.
Yeah, that was the nuts. You know, it was cool, wasn't it?
So yeah, I mean, but we want to keep it different because there is other magazines doing, you know, the T45 thing. There's 2 or 3 magazines doing that, and there's, you know, so we want to kind of keep it to the soul of what we do. But
yeah,
I mean, something really interesting water cooled comes along, just like something really interesting that's not even VW comes along. We're interested in doing it. So never say never. I mean,
cool.
Yeah, if it's the right thing and it fits, why not?
Awesome. Oh yeah, if you're building a cool water cooled car, then get in touch. Drop Ned a message.
Yeah, why not?
Let's wrap it up then. I think it's awesome to hear from you and obviously learn more about Hayburner and kind of chat cars and stuff.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming out of your comfort zone. And
well, thank you. Yeah. Do you know what, this has been actually really difficult for me. I'm so shy. It's awkward as hell. I'll cringe if I ever watch it back. I'll never watch this back. But thanks very much, Andy, for everything. You know, I know you guys support us. Through and through, and thanks everybody who you know subscribes or buys a t-shirt or anything. You're the people that keep it going, and without you, we don't have a free magazine, and we're the only scene that has one, the only one that works. So thanks for everything.
I think it's
genuine.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So for people obviously wanting to follow you, it's at Ned_Faux.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't actually have a Hayburner Instagram account. I should delete mine or change the name of it or something. Yeah.
There's someone else who's got it. I looked it up. There's someone else who's got Hayburner.
Someone pretended to be me. I don't know what I thought about. It's so weird. Yeah. I don't know what that's all about. But
and finding you online, hayburner.co.uk.
Yeah, that's right.
Subscriptions and merch and.
Yeah, we're on Facebook as well. Get to the website. Everything's there. Yeah, keep subscribing. It's keep it going.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay.
For those of you, obviously still watching, if you'd be interested in chatting live with me or Steph, then do drop us a DM and we can talk about getting you on and doing a similar sort of thing as we have done with Ned, really. Massive thanks for watching. We'll be saving this chat to our Instagram feed and also republishing it onto Facebook as soon as the technology allows. See you soon and stay safe, everyone. Have a good evening, Ned. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for having me. All right.
See you later. Bye-bye.